We have sound now. We have sound. Welcome to a Thursday episode. That's my fault. I had it on mute. Yeah, we're good. You should hear me now, right? Thumbs up if you hear me. Good. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so I got some info in the ticker on just some stuff we're going to cover. We could do Q&A after that. I'm trying to just keep up with this. Yeah, we are live. Yes, we are. Voice is still a little messed up, but bear with me with that. Nothing I could do. All right. So, busy week. Presser. I was on salutes. I went on Sunnies for a bit after that. Been very busy with stuff. We're gonna go over a lot of stuff today. Also, Keegan, 5 felonies dropped on his case. Now he's down to 25. You know, big whoop, but still, he's got 5 off. Wondering why. Now they're saying they don't have enough evidence for those 5 charges. It's kind of iffy this late, but we shall see. Okay. What are we going to go on number 1? Just waiting for that to play over. Bird Blue, nope. You can watch it later. It'll go on right afterwards. Alexa's here. Hey, Alexa. Come on. We had a good chat last night about the New York City club days. How could you forget today? Come on. I'm insulted. Also, the owner of JC's Bar was interviewed, and he spoke about how Richard Allen would actually talk about the murders with with his neighbors and the public. Very, very disturbing stuff. I'm actually reading an email. I'm sorry. It's just been, I've been crazy busy this week. Also, it never stops. Anybody with kids knows that. You just never ever stop. Yeah, American True Crime. I get it, and his family are supposed to be great people. His parents. You just guy was hiding some very deviant behavior. I also will touch on it, but I will not give the screen name out or share any of it because I don't know whose it really is. I found under one of his family members, I found a Twitter account that has some really disturbing stuff, sexual nature stuff with, I don't want to say because you could probably get a strike for even talking about just very creepy stuff. Hasn't been active in a few years, but could it be his using it under somebody else in the household's name? It is highly possible, and it is some creepy shit. Thank you, Sonny. Hey, Cold Truth, what's up? Glad you made it. Rockways, I don't believe it's undercharged. I mean, they charged him with the highest crimes. I mean, murder, I'll read sub 2 to you because I know a lot of people are wondering and don't understand. So sub 1 under 3542.11 is knowingly or intentionally kills another human being. Sub 2 adds another layer to that and like another reasoning for, falling under it. Kills another human being while committing or attempting to commit arson, burglary, child molesting, consumer product tampering, criminal deviant conduct, which was that was actually under a totally different sub, but they changed that in I think 2019 or something. It doesn't really matter. Kidnapping, RAPE, robbery, human trafficking, promotion of human trafficking, sexual trafficking of a minor, or carjacking. Before that was repealed. So there's many things that can fall, that this murder could fall under: kidnapping, the R1, human trafficking, child M, sexual trafficking of a minor. There's many that it could fall under. We just don't know which one yet. I have ideas, but not really worth talking about until we get the affidavit. As you see, the charges were put up because I think it was Fox 59 and WTHR requested them from the judge, and that poor judge is getting hammered with phone calls, hammered, and it's really not fair. He's trying to court, and he's got a guy who was just hired Friday that started Monday fielding calls, and it's not going so well for him, which is terrible. It's murder. It's murder, but murder is a felony. You're talking about like felony murder. It's some state jail felony murder of a police officer, or first degree felony murder. Indiana, this is the code. This is what I'm going off of. I could look further into it, but they're felonies. This is. I think it says 45 years to life for one charge. He has two. And we could see other charges come. I mean, they're trying to keep this tight, and there's a reason they're keeping this tight. No, I don't believe they're screwing anything up. They're trying to do their best to hold on to their investigation, and I'm not trying to over speculate, but the presser was very bizarre. Never have I been involved in any crime where we held the probable cause affidavit back like this, or even the charges back. That it's just it's very strange. It's very strange what's happening, and I do feel there's more to come. As for Keegan, I told you guys many times I didn't feel Keegan was a lone killer by himself, or even the killer. I felt there was somebody much more violent than him. And did we meet the guy? Could be possible, but there still could be more to come. The CSAM case is still in full bore. Right after the presser, they locked another. They knocked the door down in Lafayette, locked another guy up, who I believe was a already registered sex offender. So a lot goes on there in Indiana. I mean, it happens everywhere, but there's a lot going on there. There's just a lot of crazy stuff. See, Cultured said they don't have to agree as a murder. Okay. Yeah, it's state by state. Everything's different. I mean, it's murder. It is what it. I mean, it's murder. He's not getting off. There's two charges of murder against him. But he's, they got it signed. There's got to be enough to be able to charge him and convict him. I wouldn't think they'd wait 5 years, 8 months, lock somebody up that they're half-assing. I mean, that just wouldn't be the best thing to do. I mean, 5 years, 8 months going by, and did this guy, he walk right down the creek to Bridge Creek and go right out to his house? It's possible. I said it for a long time. Calling off the dogs was a mistake. They could have got a track, and look how close the track could have taken them. Could have dragged them right to his doorstep. And those dogs are amazing. You get a bloodhound, that bloodhound will keep going. If it loses a track, it'll keep going until it picks it back up. Very smart dogs. I know a lot of searchers stomped on the area, but it is what it is. You still need to take that chance, and hopefully it gets you something. Everyone's Irish. You're talking about like so many hypotheticals. You're committing a crime. You're robbing somebody. They have a massive heart attack and die. Yeah, you can be charged with felony murder. State by state, everything it's different. State by state, it's different. Federal is different. That's why we have state statutes and stuff. Everything's different. He's charged with 2 counts of murder. The subdivision means more to me than anything else, because it's telling us that there was other things going on besides which we knew, that what they found in the water, what was taken as a possible trophy. I mean, there was something else that was going on. Yes, but digital, they were violently murdered. So I don't think it falls under that, like, oh, it was an accident. They hit a rock. I mean, there was a bladed weapon, and this was a double homicide. You know, even kidnapping, okay, but they were still violently, brutally murdered. So I think we're just we're looking past that. We're not staying on what the actual thing, what happened, what the finality of it was, which we're not getting from law enforcement. You don't leave a double murder open after you arrest the suspect, a lone wolf killer. It's not. Oh yeah, we just got 200 more tips this morning. What is happening over there? What is happening? I don't. And it could be possible. This could, was he alone in this? Did he have someone else in this? Possible. Um, he was able to relive it constantly, being in the town. Hiding in plain sight really, really was what it was, which is it's very telling. Very telling stuff. And let's also go over how the initial sketch. They supposedly interviewed somebody who was on the bridge that day, who, after the whole second sketch came out, they said that they spoke to the guy who resembled the first sketch, and that wasn't in play anymore. Is that the truth? Did they go away from that? There's been a lot of conflicting stuff from law enforcement too over the years. I don't know why. So I always keep it rolling on my phone too, because StreamYard, the comments are behind. I don't know why, but they are. He supposedly came forward as a witness. Did somebody see him there? It's possible. He looks more like the first sketch than he does the young kid. Yeah. No, and digital, I know, and it's sad, but it's still unknown. But November 22nd will be the open hearing, and I don't see them being able to hold it closed after that. You're gonna get lawsuits coming from the media and everything else. Nobody. This unprecedented. Nobody's really seen this. Double murder. You have your guy. Where is it? Where's the probable cause? Where is everything that you got? People want to see it. And it's not they're not holding it back because it's going to hurt them getting a jury trial. I mean, the county's small. They're going to request having it moved anyway. I mean, that's a given. That's a 100% given that his defense team is going to request to have it moved. I mean, that's just what makes sense. What's up, Sloop? Yeah, no, I culture. I don't. Maybe you weren't here yet. I read them. I'll read it again. Sub 2, kills another human being while committing or attempting to commit arson, burglary, child M, consumer product tampering, that probably doesn't apply, criminal deviant conduct, kidnapping, RAP, the last letter, robbery, human trafficking, promotion of human trafficking, sexual trafficking of a minor, or carjacking. So that's all that apply in there. That's all, the whole subdivision. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely more. There's more in here. I mean, there's more to this, this tale, or whatever Carter was saying. I mean, the guy has, I think he's a great boss to hit, everybody under him, law enforcement. But Monday was just bizarre. It just was. I mean, there's not really many words for it. I mean, it just didn't make sense. Now's not the time. When's the time going to be? And then he says, again, his whole thing, we're going to talk about what we know, not what we think. Well, you're not telling anybody what you know. You're not giving what you're supposed to give out to the media and whatnot. I mean, I don't really know. I never had this problem. We never did this. I mean, no, we didn't have a double murder of two girls in the woods, but we've had some gnarly cases, and the affidavits come out. I mean, that's just the way it is. NYPD, you're arrested. As soon as you're arrested and processed, it gets fired off. There's no holding it back. So it just doesn't make sense. No, they asked the judge to seal it, and he okayed it. But that's why they're only getting to the 22nd to have an open hearing. It's can you do it? You can, but it doesn't happen often like this. It doesn't. So it says, wondering if they have one more arrest to make and they don't want to spook anyone over the next week or so. So there's not many things that fit into what they're doing. There's just not, you know. The case should be, if you have your guy, there's no reason to leave the tip line open. You got your lone killer, close it. Close the case. But that doesn't seem to be what is going on, you know. And there's people out there, oh, don't talk about stuff like that. What does that even mean? People need to know what the reality of this is. It's just not okay to do this. It's not. And I don't think they're going to make it 30 days. That's why it's on the 22nd. Me and you talked about that the other day. So I don't see 30 days, 60 days max, but to get past 30 days like this, I just don't, I didn't see it. Yeah, digital. Well, think about this, right? So what evidence did they have to go at him with the search warrant on October 13th to get that signed? What did they find? Did the gremlin that's rotting in Miami County give something up? It's highly possible. It's highly possible. You had the wacky search going on at the Wabash that was bizarre in itself. I made fun of it in the beginning because I've never seen cops not wearing wetsuits, NERPs out and all. It was bizarre behavior. There's a lot of bizarre shit around this case. Let's be honest. There just is. And I'll say it. I'll be honest and say it. There's a lot of weird shit. Well, Anna, not really. I mean, he's basically saying, I'm a small court and I can't handle this. It's overload. The phone's probably exploding all day. He does have a court and a docket to run. I mean, he's got to get his court back in order. So it's tough. I feel bad for the guy. Everybody should. He shouldn't be putting out like he's putting a bulletin out that he needs help. Right? It's possible. Yeah, conspiracy to commit murder, I think, would come later. If they say they only got one guy and there's multiple, you would see a conspiracy charge come. But they only have one guy arrested right now. But the tip line's still open, and we got 200 tips this morning. What is going on there? Somebody tell me what's happening over there, because I don't get it. Anna, 100%. I agree. This is coming from me. I'm retired law enforcement. We never did this. We put it out. We had press conferences. This is what we got against blank. That's just the way it is in America. But they've been like this since the beginning, and they're still doing it. They asked Carter, do you feel you made mistakes in this case? And he went on, I love the guy. I think he is a great mouthpiece for law enforcement. People that are under him love him. He's a great boss, but the riddles have to stop. They just do. Enough of the riddles. He's been charged with double murder. He's got two different counts. There's two counts. He's got two counts of murder against him. Same charge. 2 counts. But they even they searched his house on the 13th. They took everything out of there. I don't know about now, but there's nothing really to do. They already took everything. But just seeing that, I want to bring up that TK was not arrested over the weekend. TK is driving around and living his life right now. He's free bird. So he has not been arrested. That's just a rumor as usual. The riddles have to stop. I mean, it's enough now. But let's see what you have. Let's see what you worked 5 years and 8 months for. Let's give it, the families look deflated. I mean, I know you don't know how you're going to respond to that. Nobody does. You don't know how you're going to respond to when the suspect's finally caught. 5 years, 8 months is a long time, but they look exhausted. Why? This is just a tough case on them. It really is. It's brutal, absolutely brutal. Oh, and you know how I feel about him. I don't trust that man at all. He's intertwined. I do think that Peru with CSAM there's going to be a lot of people falling in that place. If I lived there, I'd be getting the hell out of that place. Well, the report I got of Carter was back on Saturday buying dog food was 100%. He was back. Listen, the murder sheet take pictures. I'd have to see the ground disturbance to tell you. I don't really know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Oh yeah, McClellan has aged in 5 years. He took over December 2017, or I guess January 1, whatever it was. Yeah, that man is this case will beat you up. Anybody, you got to remember the law enforcement guys on this case have given up holidays, whatever came up you're working at. You want to solve this case. Holidays, your children's birthdays, you're missing milestones in your own household because you want to do your job and solve the crime, but your family pays for it. It's tough. Your personal family pays for you working all the time. Rockaway's highly possible. Highly possible. Ugh. Public art, not necessary. Come on. Somebody just delete that comment that he put up. You don't ban him or anything. Just delete that comment. Not necessary. Do you think this crime may be far-reaching and involve much more than 2 murders? That's why we don't need to see everything. Well, there's 2 different case numbers. You got Keegan attached to the CSAM, and now we have a separate case number for this. So, do they intertwine? Highly possible. It's an abduction. Yeah, it's an abduction. Yeah, we've spoken about this many times, though. There's many things in play, but the highest crime is murder. And 2 counts of murder against you, you're never getting out. And I'm sure other charges are going to come. They just don't want the cookie to fall too early. They're holding on. So the sweet teas, sometimes they can't get rid of evidence. They just need to hold on to that piece that's allowing them to relive it again. So it's just, just the way it is. Possible serial killer, the yard should be completely excavated. They searched the river for 6 weeks. True. I don't believe he's a serial killer. I know there's a profiler out there that does, because crime scenes, the detail of a crime scene could make somebody be a serial killer. But that's not the definition. Can't make your own definition for serial killer. It's just not how it goes. Can't do it. Good reason to try and keep things sealed would be if they are fairly sure there was a conspiracy. Yeah, no, of course. I mean, there has to be something there. There has to be. There has to be another piece. Cold truth, like in McClellan's hair, huh? That's funny. It's really funny. He's got nice hair. I guess you're right. MS is now saying they knew about they're becoming comic. All right, so let's talk about what I've spoken about the last few lives, right? How I felt that MS was getting, Murder Sheets was getting valid information, and it was probably coming from inside law enforcement. So what do? I had a case where we had 2 guys. We were working surveillance, and let's just say that somebody in law enforcement might have given up who was following them. And they ended up getting backed into a corner on a dead end, and it got very, very horrifying for some minutes because one of the guys got out and was at their window and they were pinned. They couldn't go anywhere. And that was the days of the Nextel. When you were in specialized units, hearing that, basically yelp over the radio that they needed us. And I was 15 minutes away at another location doing surveillance, but we got there fast. But it was more or less they went up to the window, cornered them, and kind of was like, I see you. So that does happen where law enforcement can leak information. So how do you find the leak? You take a couple of people who you think might be together, and you just let them overhear something and see it go down the telephone and see where it goes. We had wiretaps up, so we actually heard it over the wiretap. We heard people talking about who was on who, where I was, what house I was at the day before. That's how shitty it got. So Murder Sheet was probably getting valid information, and maybe the red Jeep was bullshit. Maybe that was the lie, to see who their leak was and for law enforcement to tidy it up. Now they're saying they know. I don't know. They didn't sound like they knew the other day. So listen, I totally get it. I understand. I could understand it, but we don't do that here. No problem though. Dropbox, Pandora's box. Yeah, there's a lot to play in that. Did you think that the last press conference was pure theater? No, I don't think it was pure theater. I just think it was, we're not going to give you anything. We're going to tell you that today's not the day to know what happened, but it's the day. I don't know. It was riddles. It was just riddles. And I don't think it's done purposely. Like even when Carter talked about the 2-cup drive there, I mean, he didn't know how to respond to it because he's promised 2 families for 5 years, 8 months that he was going to get the guy, and you never know how you're going to respond. So he's human. It's just, let's stop the riddles, let's stop the bullshit, and let's give the honesty. What do you got? Wasn't hard to solve. Alan injected himself in the investigation day 2. I got my shoulders bother me. Icing the hell out of it, but it's still bothering me. It wasn't hard to solve if Alan injected himself into the. Yeah, no, I get it, but alibis and listen, maybe he gave his DNA. I don't think they got him on his DNA. I think they got him on what they found at his house. I think they found the DNA of the girls, and that's enough. That's all you need. That's all you need. It's an extra bit of hard one. The accused killer is a local guy in a small town. Whoever knows. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a town of 3,000 people. Half of them male, right? Half of them adult age. That's 700 people to fit the category they were looking for. I don't know, 450, 500. Bananas that they ran into this guy. Somebody said that at the CVS, he would basically say like, "Oh, be safe out there." Like, wow, really, really intertwined. Really intertwined. He is not a serial killer right now. No, he's not. He's not. There's no evidence to say they found another body. We're just not going to give rumors out. Stick to the facts. There's nothing to show that yet. Law enforcement has said that they don't think they're looking for a serial killer. So, got to go with what they do give us. It's like, why would? But this is America. Everybody's entitled. This is evidence that's entitled to be out there. For his defense, they're going to ask to be moved anyway. They're going to say that they're not going to get a fair trial in Coward County. So it is what it is. You got to give something. I mean, they want to redact the probable cause for certain things that could hinder the ongoing investigation. Fine, we got to give something. Are we being drip-fed Key and Klein leaks to keep us moving that direction? As a distraction, I feel like I was being used as a street tool. I don't know. I think that whoever was telling them was law enforcement. They knew too much. They knew a lot of great details. So I don't think it was. I think the one piece, maybe the red Jeep, was to throw a wrench in and find their leak. That's possible. No one has been cleared, and he did make that clear the other day. Nobody's been cleared. Oh, let's also talk about Keegan Klein, right? What do we know about him? We know he was talking to Libby that day, that the Anthony Shots account was. So let's not just be so quick to throw that away. You know, not often does a guy who is as nasty of a human being as Keegan be talking to a girl and then she's killed, a couple miles from her house by another guy, another psycho. It's hard for it not to be connected. It's very hard. I know people don't want to say it, people don't want to talk about it, but let's be honest. Covered, not cleared. Yeah, covered doesn't mean you're cleared. Covered means you're cleared for now, but your cookie might crumble like Ron Logan's alibi. That's what that means. 43-second recording. Yeah. Well, remember Ron Logan's search warrant, the most factual evidence we have in this case right now speaks of Ron Logan always carrying his handgun in Richard Allen's home. Him and his wife have full carry permits. You don't need them anymore, but they did before the new law was passed, both of them. So that's also interesting. Cleared as legal definition in Indiana, as they say covered, which lets them back. Yeah, no. When you say you're cleared, you're clearing somebody, that could bite you in the ass if it ends up turning the other way. But they're not saying covered. They're not saying, they're not giving anything on anybody. They're still leaving it totally open. But the way Carter spoke is like, we haven't cleared anybody. Got 200 tips this morning. Wow. What the hell's going on? 22nd, November 22nd is the hearing. It's directly before Turkey Day. It's the Tuesday before Turkey Day. So a lot of people go away. So they picked the right time to do it. I think they were forced to arrest before they were ready and asked the sealed docket was sick and arranged safety for witnesses. I don't know. I lean heavy on, they didn't interview him first. They showed up at his house for the search warrant. So what did they gain to get the search warrant? I was told by somebody who lives near there that there was that whole story of him stealing tools, total bullshit, not real at all. The neighbors had no idea anything was going on there until law enforcement showed up. So JD is born and raised in Westchester. What part, JD? What parts? Because they didn't fully search the property. Why is this so hard to get across? What do you? Of course they did. They did a full search warrant there. They had dogs there, I'm sure. They sniffed the ground, searching for whatever. You're not going to just dig up his yard. There's nothing showing that he buried a body on his property. It's likely, but it seems like he is. But no, he's short. Maybe he's short. He's with boots on. He's 5'8". Let's go. Let's stay with that. I know people are saying 5'6.5", 5'7". Wearing boots, 5'8". That's it. That's his height. That's as tall as he could ever be. Is 5'8". On his tallest day of his life, he was 5'8". Richard Allen. Yeah, they brought up Ron Logan again. That'll give that coffin daffer more bullshit to tweet about. But yet she's on opening the presser with News Nation and WTHR, whatever that guy's on. Yeah, she was there. Bizarre. I don't know. Can't figure that one out. I'm telling you, this whole case is just, there's a lot of things that make you scratch your head as to what the hell's going on. TK most wanted friend in all the houses in a row. It's only 2 houses down from address. All right. No, it's not 2 houses down. It's a 3-minute drive. It's close, but it's not that close. 3-minute drive from Keegan and TK's house to the other property. I'm not going to say the address. People know it, but I'm not going to do it. Hey, bud, what's up, man? I was going to go on the other day, but here I'm battling this voice thing, and I was on Sleuths for a while, and then I went on Sundays, and I'm just battling with my throat. This is annoying. I still have a little sore throat. Very annoying. Can't say the word because I hear they're striking people for talking about it. So, yeah, I just got a sore throat. I'm good. Be back true blue, but how long would you think it's acceptable for Ellie to wait and during a case like this before they met their overwhelmed account? Well, let's rewind to the sheriff's debate 3.5 weeks ago, where Liggett got up and he said, I'm one person. I'm doing the best I can talking about this. Well, what the hell changed from that night to a week later when they're serving a search warrant at Richard Allen's home to arresting him 2 weeks later? So, and he didn't seem like he was lying. So something turned positive. So there was something that turned very positive in the case that got them where they had to go. I mean, was it the gremlin sitting in the cell? Ooh, I believe highly that he has a role to play here. Like Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones. I don't think, I wouldn't say forced arrest before, because what's the rush? Where's he going? Where is he going to go? You track his phone. You put a car on each end of the house, far down the road. You put a tracker on the vehicle. We do this all the time. How far is he going to get? Not that far. And then if you have to take him down in the middle of the night, he's trying to escape, then you do it. If you're not ready, you watch him. But they wanted him under. That's it. They wanted him in custody, and they did it. Southern Sweet Tea, yes. Get out of here. My dog's about to jump up. Yes, about the ongoing investigation part, but if there's more to come with it, then no. If there's another arrest to come or whatnot, then USA, you're telling me that they went in his house and you don't think they took out every electronic device in there? They can run Logan's search warrant. You're gonna do a plug and play with pieces of that for exactly what you're looking for, and if you got to add stuff, you're not in today's day. You're not, especially what they feel that photos and videos were taken somewhere to do with this crime. It's in Ron Logan's search warrant. It is not hearsay. It's not bullshit. It's there. There's a reason for it. So I disagree. I don't think anybody knows exactly what they took from there. You back up to the garage and you start loading cars up. The neighbors aren't watching the whole time what you're taking out of the house. I mean, they might see a few things, but this has been on 20 years. Safes get taken if you can't get it opened. Many things get taken. Everything gets taken that could be something. The car, they towed his car. That went and got processed. Did they find, any DNA in there? Not his, the girls. That's what I feel got him. I don't feel his. I feel they might have had his DNA when he cooperated. They did ask a lot of people local, and a lot of people just gave their DNA to rule me out. There you go. No problem. Thanks, Sonny. Maybe there were animal bones and heads in the forks of trees. That was true. Possible. Possible. I've seen pictures of an area close by there that's got some really weird shit in the trees. And I don't even know what to call this weird open structure. You could use it for praying or there are many things. Very, very odd. I've gotten conflicted things on this, that the wife left or that she was there the whole time standing by his side and sitting in her vehicle. Her vehicle is newer than the murder, so they did not go through her vehicle. Yeah, no, it's nice out today in New York. It's beautiful. It's beautiful out. The Rockaways, because this is what I've said from the beginning when I first came on to YouTube. As an investigator, you follow where the evidence takes you, and sometimes you're headed straight, and then you get taken to your right, and you can't have tunnel vision. You can't just stay here. You got to move to where the case is taking you, and the case took them to that man's doorstep for a reason. Central New York. Yeah, that's a tough one. Is that like Orange County? Like, where's Central New York? Lee, where's your question? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to jump any questions. I'll scroll up and see if I can find it. But yet it's the comments on StreamYard, they skip and they come in late. So sometimes you'll just get like a blurt of 10, 12 of them. So it's not that I'm doing it. Oh, I got you. Ski Mask IRA. I don't think so. And I'll just leave it at that. I do not think it's him. I think Ski Mask has totally to do with Anthony Schatz. And I'll leave it at that for now. Leave it there for now. No one was under arrest during the search. Oh, Anna, yes and no. And it depends at how the person you're searching their house is acting, because once they start getting squirrely and moving around a lot, you can absolutely put them in handcuffs and just do it for a safety reason. They're not under arrest; they're just being detained, and that's safety reasons only. It didn't look like it came to that there, but it does happen often, you know. And you have to be able to do your job and do your job safely, and not have somebody squirreling around you, you know, not knowing what the hell he was going to do. False report, Lady Stardust is not real. He did not steal a cheap tool that you know turned him on to law enforcement. That is not factual at all. Well, no, they could stay. That's where they stayed at the end of the driveway. You know, you're allowed to stay there if you're not under arrest. It's your property. You're just not getting close to anywhere. You know, you obstruct and you're getting locked up. It's very simple. Even the wife, if she obstructed in any way. You know, this isn't like what movie is that with Donnie Brasco, right? Was that Donnie Brasco? What movie is that? No, maybe Goodfellas, where she spits on her own floor. I think it was Goodfellas. Bizarre stuff. Spitting on your own floor because law enforcement's in your house. It's not like that, like in the 50s, where like, oh, sit down in the chair and don't move. No, you're going outside. You can't just stay there while a search warrant's going on. Things happen. You know, knives are in the kitchen. There's just no way. You get them out and that's it. But, you know, I don't want to say it's facts because I don't know, and we don't know. But do you remember when the second sketch was introduced and there was different stories come from law enforcement? One was like, you know, it could be a blend of both sketches, or this one or that one. The one that stuck out the most was, we're not interested in this guy anymore. And then there was a little blurb of news saying that they got the guy who looks like sketch one. They interviewed him and he is not, you know, he's not a person of interest anymore. Something to that effect. And that could be highly possible. I do not feel he looks like the second sketch. Second sketch looks like a young kid. That man does not look like a young kid. He is, you know, he looks like the first sketch. We'll just stay with that. We don't really know a timeline currently. Well, it was October 13th is when they were at the house. That's a fact. That's when the neighbor took the video and pictures. Hey, Jacqueline, yes. Klein had 5 charges dropped. Yes. 5 felonies taken off down to 25. Still going to do some steep time with 25 felonies for CSAM. Good amount of time for that guy. Let's see if more get knocked off in a month from now. Let's see. We'll go from there. My dog is sneezing. She's crazy right now. The other day when I was on with, I think it was Sonny and them, the neighbor had his landscaper out. And my dog, in her eyes, that man was getting closer to our house. And all she thinks is like home invasion or something. She's ready to eat him. So she might amp up in a little bit and start barking. But just bear with me on that. No, I don't. That is untrue. It's not factual. I don't even know who's put that. I think that was put out on Facebook. Stop reading Facebook. Let's go. Let's do it again. Right? Stop reading Facebook. Facebook, like, oh, this person told me this, and they have a connection with this person. Please stop. It's like the game of telephone. It's all bullshit. You have somebody playing games, just like the certain channels that some of you just, you know, you can't resist listening to the madness that's on some of these channels out there. But the problem is when you listen to them and you give them a platform, the ego keeps going and the insanity gets worse. Reel it in. Try and stay away from these people. Somebody's still saying it's Ron Logan. Tell them to go F themselves. It's not Ron Logan on the bridge. Stop it. He's not the killer. They would have had him on March 17th. Multiple dogs at the house. If they found one speck of blood, that man would have been charged March 17th, 2017. It never came. But you still have a retired FBI agent that's live the morning of the press conference saying it's Ron Logan still. Bananas. But that's what I'm saying. It's just there's so many things with this case make you scratch your head. Stop watching shit channels out there that are bashing the family. They are going through hell. Look at them. The press conference, this is a lot. And, I believe Becky Patty watches, man, because if you listen to what she says a lot of what I've been saying. They are real people. This case is real. 2 girls were brutally murdered, and their families are suffering. They've been living February 14th over and over again every day until an arrest came. Now the arrest is here. Case is still open. There's a reason for it. They likely have nothing but the girls' DNA at best, which isn't enough. Libertarian, we don't know what they have. If he took a trophy and it comes back with the girl's DNA on it, what do you mean? Maybe they got the murder weapon. I still think it went elsewhere, but I'm not going to go there right now because we're not in that part. I've sidetracked right now a little bit. I think, we'll get back on the highway, though. I do. Do not feel this is over. What I read, yes. Yeah, that's what they said. But, Mel, why now? Why are 5 charges removed now, 5 felonies? Why weren't they removed 6 months ago when they had the one pre-trial conference, but they said no plea deals coming? Now all of a sudden 5 charges are taken away because they don't have enough evidence for it. Come on, come on. There's just weird. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of weird shit going on. Yes, I feel like people are like bashing a judge. I mean, I guess the judge in some kind of lawsuit, put some crazy stuff out there. I don't know. I don't live in Indiana, but the guy's pleading for help because his phone is exploding. He's got a new court reporter that started Monday and a bailiff. He's got a bailiff answering the phones. He's got no knowledge of case numbers or anything like that. I mean, what the hell is happening in Carroll County? What is happening? Where are the funds? You don't have personnel at this courthouse? It's crazy. A lot of crazy stuff. Well, if you listen to my Red Talks, I go at length about the dogs being called off. Major error. Hold on one second. Sorry, my little guy. My wife had to bring him home from school. He doesn't feel well. So I only got a couple more minutes. I did not know. I guess I missed the text message that he was on his way home. But my little guy's not feeling so well. What else do we have? Let's see. Could they have left the property while search warrant was happening, or do they have to stay there? Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know. When I'm doing a search warrant and I have somebody there, I'm going to tell them to stay here, and I'm not going to let you leave. That's just, it's just where are you going? Sketches, audio, and video were just tools. They matter much now who he is. They define a sort of suspect. Yeah, well, I mean, the audio and video will be, they will exploit it as a, defense team will use it to exploit it, saying it's not their client, you know. That's what we know, Nancy. That's what we know. Yeah, I got to preach sometimes. You know how it is. It's disgusting, cold truth, Mel. Very, very disgusting stuff when they do what they do. My man. I got a surprise. My little guy is home from school. My middle child, his stomach hurts. So school didn't call me, but I was talking to you, so everybody, so I didn't see the text from my wife. Yeah, hybrid, you got me. You got me. Everybody, check out Crime Scene to Courtrooms channel. This is a good man, another Brit, good dude. Covers this case, covers the Essex Boys case. He's covering the nurse who murdered some people in the hospital. He's a very good guy. Give him a look. KK's Vegas trip was February 21st through the 25th. When he arrived home on the 25th, he was met by FBI and ISP. Search warrant. I might have missed that comment you're saying. So, USA Libertarian, before I go, who do you feel it is? Why do you feel that not enough was done at Richard Allen's home? Because I 100% disagree. Culture with Mel, listen, I get it, and I understand. Lone wolf, lone wolf, lone wolf, I get it, but you can't throw away 10 months. What was that? It's more than 10 months? Yeah, almost 11 months of just Keegan being thrown out there in the media, the CSAM, the documents getting released, everything else. It compounds up. It's not just like a red herring. It can't be. There's too much there. He was speaking to the girls the day of, and then all of a sudden they're murdered by another psychopath in Delphi. I just don't see it. JW28 said, "You have a Malinois." Oh, yes, I do. You Huckleberry. And I have a female. And let me tell you something. Um, she might be nastier than male Malinois when it comes to her family. And she, outside the house with other dogs, she is just fine. But when she is home and she sees a stranger, wabam. Yeah, I know his belly hurts. He'll be fine. It just happens. I didn't even know he was coming. Usually the school calls me. My little guy is out of school for a few hours and he fell in a puddle. That's why I was a little bit late. I had to run more clothes there. Only 3 sets are there. They're kids making a mess. Yeah, well, I mean RSV is going around, which is very dangerous. My cousin just had a baby maybe 6 8 weeks ago, and she has RSV, so they're watching her very closely. And my middle son, who's home today, had RSV when he was, I think, what, maybe it was like 16 17 months, and he was hospitalized for 5 days. It was brutal, scary stuff. RSV. Awesome. Well, tomorrow I'm gonna go live again tomorrow. Now that this is being cut short, things happen. Things happen. I'm sorry for that, but the little guy's got to come first. Yeah, he is. Me and him are gonna do a live soon. We both just haven't been able to connect the time zones, but we will. Check that out. Crime Scene in the Courtroom. Bernardo Mahoney. tongue twister there. Say that one 5 times. Nah, don't give people that much credit. Don't give that people that much credit. Tricking him. He was in contact with her. He was in contact with a friend where the masked man shows up at the window. Come on. You can't think like that. No, no, it's all good. You got a good mind. You got a good mind, so don't think like that. Oh, you got a Mal? You got to send me a picture. I'll send you a picture of my girl. You can actually see her. I think she jumped up on me on Sleuth and Sonny's live the other day. She's a beast. Analysis of a crime at Gmail. I want to see your dog. Mals are the best. People who have the time to exercise them, they are so loyal. My dog follows me all around all day long. She's just wherever I go, I stop. She circles around me and sits down and just looks at me, ready to go at all times. Carol, how you been? Glad you're here. Bossy, if you go to my channel, I did a quick video on U.S. Marshals like maybe 7, 8 months ago when they were first announced to be here. But the U.S. Marshals, really quick, one of the best apprehension teams around. They also are amazing at stuff that I used to do with technology and audio bugs, tracking devices, that kind of stuff. And they also do stuff with computers, cell phones. So, thanks. Yeah, it's not the little guy. It's my middle guy. One day I'll send you pics of the three of them. It's my 7-year-old that came home today. Maybe he's playing a little hooky. I don't know. He worked his angle because the school usually calls me because my wife's working, and they called her. So I think he might have told them to call my mama. That's why he's home. Because I would have said, nah, let's give him a half hour. But Bundy, it's disturbing the amount of people that are out there pushing Ron Logan theory. Not even Ron Logan theory, the family theory. Disturbing. Why watch them? Why even give them a second of your time? And the reason I'm not on video is I just came in my room and my room's a little bit of a mess at the moment, so I just had to come and duck in because I don't really want my little guy hearing this stuff. He won't sleep at night. Anna, what do you mean? There's a content creator that's going to write a book on this. Just Cash App. Here's my Cash App, man. Send it. Just kidding. Not me. It's somebody else. That's awesome. Yeah, they're always under our feet. That's just what a Malinois is supposed to do, man. They're close to their handler, ready to go at any time. Yeah. When is he going to break into his neighbor's garage and steal a wrench, like a $10 wrench, and risk anything happening to him? It's nonsense. Irene, I like it, but maybe not even the murder weapon. Just maybe a name. Maybe a name. How many times did they tell him in that interrogation that we know you didn't do this to Keegan Klein, but they know he knew who did. Squeeze him. Klein wasn't at the bridge or waiting in a Jeep. No, I don't. I don't. I actually think the red Jeep was a lie. I think that was put out there for LE to find their leak. That's just my opinion, but it does happen all the time, every day in law enforcement. Oh, I didn't know he was continuing to write. I had no idea. His art form extends to writing a novel. Yeah, they are. They are. My dog's just like a real big beast. And I got to watch her when she's running too far because she keeps hurting her paws. She rips them open. She's just insane. So I bought that cream. I'm waiting for it to come that you rub on. That's supposed to last a little bit. She's just tough. I mean, I think it had to be like 3 weeks ago. She ripped underneath one of her pads, and I don't even know how she did it. I don't know if there maybe glass was in the ground or something, but she tore it up. Hey, glad you made it. I'm actually shutting down in a couple minutes because my little guy came home from school, but we'll do this again tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Oh yeah, I mean it happens all the time, but at the same time, I don't think that plays here. I think you know you had a lot of weird activity going on. The river search was weird. It was weird. Then you had the gas station, Marathon gas station was being searched, and the rumor was that the FBI, when they got the hard drive, they destroyed it. My take on it is that they didn't destroy it, that they already knew that it was written over, because that's what happens with a hard drive and like cameras that are on 24/7. 7, 8 days later, they rewrite. Supposedly, they took the hard drive and tried to get that footage back that was written over, and they couldn't. And that's just normal. They made an attempt, so it wasn't really a FBI ball drop. It was more that they attempted to recover something that was already deleted. Yeah, 12 o'clock tomorrow, definitely. Yeah. Oh no, no, incorrect. 12:30 or 1, but I'll post it. I will post it. I will definitely post it up. Anybody that's new here, please subscribe. Got a lot to go over this week, and I have more to go on. Um, I had stuff to go over on the family and stuff. Not the girl's family, on Richard Allen. Some weird, a couple weird things. That Twitter account, very weird. I'm just gonna read to you just an excerpt, but I can't do it now. We'll do that tomorrow. Anybody have any final questions? Give you like a 3-minute countdown. Throw some questions. Hey, Russian Aloha. How have you been? How have you been? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. Next section, where can be treasure. Yeah, it's so funny when I look at my phone, it comes up so much faster than StreamYard. I guess because it has to kick through, which is fine, but it's just weird. Where's that? Comments. Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, this case might not stay in Carroll County. This case might move. And listen, everybody's entitled to a fair trial. That's our freedoms in this country. You have the right to a fair trial. So we will probably see them attempt to move it, and it might get moved. It might get moved. Not the end of the world if it does, but it could get moved. It's possible. Bloke, what is it? Comment. Did you remove your comment? I can't click on it. There it is. The pig squealed. I call him the gremlin. He's a disaster. Got ringworm on his face or some kind of fungi that's eating him up in that jail. Gross. Disaster. Tech Death, what's up, man? They can't even seal a case. Hell no. We'll be in Carroll County. It's in Carroll County now, but any smart defense attorney is going to try and get that moved. It's a small county. They'll try and maybe bring in Indianapolis or another city that's or county larger. I don't know the counties there. I'd have to look them up. I don't know them all, but I do think that they would attempt to move it. And listen, defendant is entitled to that. That's just the way the system is. You're entitled to a fair trial. And very true. But think about how many locals talk. I have some good people I talk to, and they tell me some things, but they're reserved on a lot because they protect their town, which I totally understand. That's the way it should be. You don't want tattletales all over your town running around with people. I get more information from Peru and also from Mexico, Indiana than I do from Delphi. Delphi is tight, and that's a good thing. That isn't a bad thing when you think about it. It isn't. They didn't ask more when Kate said he was in Vegas with a friend of his dad's. It was former Peru police chief. Who was that? Well, I don't. I mean, the Peru police chief, yes. But the one that bothers me more than him is Kendall, who has now passed away. I don't like talking about anybody that's not here anymore. But him and TK seem to have the same kind of likes of young girls. I'll just say that for now. But I've spoken about that many times. Yeah, and look, it probably won't. I mean, they're gonna push to move it. I mean, in all reality, it could be a high percentage of it getting moved. And you know what? At the end of the day, so what? Let the guy have a fair trial. The evidence is there. You're not going to be worried that it's going to get moved. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't matter at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's getting your conviction off what you got. Yeah, that's one of the downfalls of Indiana's law. There is no cameras in the courtroom. Yes. It would be more or less live tweeting, which is such a nightmare. If anybody watched that Darrell Brooks trial, and if you haven't, just Google, just go on YouTube and put in Darrell Brooks uh, outbursts in court because he defended himself. What a banana head! You have no idea. I talked about him last one. He is a lunatic. He's the one that ran everybody over in Wisconsin at the Christmas parade last year. What a disturbing individual. Oh, this case, there's a lot of twists and turns, Alexa, a lot. And not even that, it's taken a beating on a lot of people, you know? Not even just the family, law enforcement. This is a long case, and so the law enforcement officer involved, the prosecutor's office involved, the families of law enforcement involved that are working 18, 20-hour days, 7 days a week, missing your child's birthday. I've done all that, but I just didn't miss my kids' birthdays because I just didn't. I didn't have to, and but thankfully, I had kids a little later in life and stuff like that. But it's tough. I've seen, excuse me, I've seen marriages implode from within from working cases that just eat you up. I know people who were with me at 9/11 who divorced years later, and weren't even married at the time of 9/11. But just the stuff we went through down there. Some people have a hard time shaking it, and just the way it is. You know, you try your best to keep going and put on a brave face every day, but sometimes it gets the best of you. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's still prosecute. I don't see that changing. I mean, I also think that we could actually see. I mean, would he bring Robert Ives in as a special prosecutor as well? Because Robert Ives, in the beginning, when he was retiring, said he was open to that. So I don't know. We'll see. Darrell Brooks was, I mean, insane. I don't even think insanity doesn't apply because I don't think he is insane, but he is. Wow. You're talking about a guy who can just snap and stare down the judge like with like devilish eyes. It was crazy. Oh yeah, emotional turmoil for Ellie is tough. It is. It is, and that's why we have to have thick skin and dark humor. You know. And there's times where I had a hard time with stuff, and you got to talk to people. I'm not saying everybody's gonna go and talk to a therapist, but you gotta have people you trust and you can talk about things because when things compile, you feel like you get backed in a corner. And even being a cop, you can feel like that. It's just in not in a sense of like at work, outside of work, where everything is just it's the same death and domestics and seeing abuse and you have no idea how that could compound on you every day. It's tough. Oh, that's so true, Morgan. That is a fact. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure he filed his defense. I'm sure Darrell Brooks fired his defense attorney because he does not go by that name. Oh, my dog's barking at my wife. Yeah, Anna, I mean, that's for small counties, that's true, you know. You will bring a special prosecutor in. Hey, Allie, what's my guess on what could explain the strange behavior of Ellie? It's so hard to know what the hell is going on there. A lot of it is they want secrecy. I also think that they had people leaking, at least one law enforcement officer within the unit leaking information. Um, they made mistakes in the beginning that they didn't want to own, like the dogs being called off. And I know they had a lot of searchers out there. Doesn't matter. You get the dogs out there. You know, for all we know, he walked right down the creek, crossed onto where Deer Creek meets Bridge Creek, walked along that in the wooded area, came up onto the main road, crossed over that, and gone to his house. You know, that's highly possible. Yeah, thankfully, yeah, her foot did heal. It was pretty nasty though and gross, but it did heal. They couldn't stitch it. It was right. It was underneath, like, I wouldn't say directly under, but it was right at the pad. There's not. It was a pretty deep gash, but I kept wrapping it and stuff, but it actually healed pretty good. It's cool, all closed up. Carol, is that a fact that he is related to one of the families by marriage? Um, if it is, I mean, is it a conflict of interest? Yeah, I mean, it could be. It's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yep, he constantly referred to him as he just said that I that is not me. Like he was basically saying he is not Daryl Brooks. Even when he would bring his witnesses, which were really the state witnesses, he just called them back and he would ask them a question and they would say, "Well, I saw you, Daryl Brooks," and he was so ready to snap at any moment. Oh, bossy, it's so true. I mean, especially where yes, and I feel that the murder site was pre-planned. The way it was sunken in like a bowl, it was the perfect spot to commit a double murder. It's terrible to say, but it's true. And the exit of just walking along the creek, and that's why I put up a video a few months ago of Doug Carter when he was interviewed by News Nation, and how he talked about. Oh, and I wrote under that unsolved guy. I guess he's just not that friendly of a person because he basically used it. I don't know, like a few weeks ago. I don't care if somebody sees a video of mine and uses it. I don't really care. But I wrote under his comments. I go, oh, cool. I'm glad you put this up. I put this up a few months ago, and he deleted my comment. I'm like, never talking to you again, sir. No time for you. But that's just the way it is. Doug Carter was basically saying how there's many ways that you could exit in a rural area, and that to me was like another tongue twister. But was he just saying like walk right down the creek in a sense? Oh, and it's totally true. I mean, 3,000 people is not a lot of people, not at all. And I mean, and if you don't, I mean, I'm sure I can look it up. I think I have looked it up what the county has, but I mean, it's not, it's not a heavily populated area. It's just not. I mean, think about it, right? Carroll County has 12 deputies, and I believe right now that includes the sheriff. 12 officers, 12 full-time officers for all of Carroll County. And when I heard the night of the sheriff's debate is they run two guys on the road, two guys on the road for entire Carroll County. I mean, yes, every town in itself has their own police departments, but Carroll County, like think about where the girls were found here. That was Carroll County's property. Think about how much property they own. One pretty big crime, and now you got one guy on the road. Now he has no backup. He's waiting for backup from the other jurisdictions. That's a tough job, not an easy job. Oh, I don't even care that I was just making conversation with the guy and he just deleted my comment. I was like, all right, no problem. I mean, just look, you know how this how being a content creator is, man. You could get attacked at a moment's notice for not even saying anything. It's just the way it is. Gotta have thick skin, man. Gotta have thick skin. I'm out here to help anybody, and with anything. Anybody has personal stuff like Never Silent did, and we helped get his daughter and his grandchildren to safety. From an abusive guy who's now in jail. So I'm always here. You got my email. I don't judge anybody. Whatever it is, I will help you get out of your situation. Whatever we could do. He's got a Mustang, Carl. What's he got? Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, just gotta have thick skin. Don't want to bother you. Just do you, man. I've told you that since the first day I met you. Always do you. There's nobody on YouTube that should be able to hurt your feelings. Just let it roll off. Uh, I try, man. I try. There's no reason to hurt anybody else on YouTube because you don't, except for the dirtbags that are out here still bashing the family. Oh yeah, it's the family. Yeah, the family did it. Look at those people at the press conference, how exhausted they are. They don't even know how to feel in this moment. But yet, yeah, let's put a video about it right after and bash them again. Disturbing. All right, I gotta go. I'll give it another 60 seconds and I'm off. I gotta go take care of my little guy so my wife could go back to work. Anybody have anything else? Going once, going twice, 60 seconds. Fire away. And tomorrow we'll go over a lot more. I'll put it up for. I'm gonna put it up for 1:30 tomorrow, and if I could do it earlier, I'll pull it in the front and let you know. Carol, come on. You know a car is four wheels. What are you saying? Hey, Valencia's landscaping from Lafayette. Were you close to that search warrant that happened after the press conference the other day? Hear any rumblings? If you have, send me an email. See everybody later. Gotta be dipped in butter on the tube. That's funny. Hey, I try, Tech Death. I'm here to help, man. Whatever I could do, I'm here to help. There's no judgment. Whatever kind of situation it is, I'm not going to judge you. And I'm not going to talk about it unless you want to talk about it. The only reason people know about Never Silence stuff I helped him with was he told people and he wanted it out there. That's not, I'm not doing things for accolades here. When he sent me the picture of the husband holding a sawed-off shotgun, like cranked over his shoulder, I was like, "Yo, we need to get on this now," you know. So thanks everybody for being here. Tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. It'll be up for, and if I can make it earlier, I will. But I will keep you updated. Thanks everybody, and I'm sorry for going short, but got to take care of the little man. See you tomorrow.